Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server, Everlasting. We're with our martial arts super reflex scrapper, who's level 33, and I have been told to take mutants to Wilma Patterson, the mutant that we found, with the Devouring Earth, and she says, you're right. After, you're right in all my efforts of cleaning up after the Devourer. I'd never come across a mutation like this. In fact, let's get Jose Escalante on the phone right now and discuss the situation. Silver Phoenix, Jose says you've got to get over the Pinckney and Sons law firm right away. I guess the Devouring Earth isn't through taking the law into its own hands. So this is one of these, I've mentioned this before because this happened with Philippa Moreau. These are sort of mini arcs. They're not really, they don't really count as essentially as story arcs. So they don't show up with like the little book icon or anything, but they take you through 3 or 4 missions in a row. Um, so we're going to go to Skyway City and see if we can help this other law firm. And so I got lucky that they happen to be in the north side of the city. And here we go. So now we are saving another law firm. There's 4 lawyers to serve here, to save here. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a shorter mission. It could be 1 per floor for 4 floors. So you just never know. When we saw 15 in the last episode, I thought, oh man, this is going to take an hour and a half, and it didn't. So it all just depends on how they have the mission arranged. Alright, and we got that guy. Okay. So now we have to crawl through this map and find every single pixel of it so that we can go over every single pixel so that we can make sure that we save each lawyer. This should finish him off. Yep. And now the Razorvine. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Don't need that. Alright, so we gotta go through. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think this is going to lead to a story arc, but it certainly should give us... We now have Jose Escalante's number, which means that we can call him now. We don't have to keep risking the snipers of Founders Falls to talk to him. Alright, and now... And this guy. And now this guy. That thing does some good damage. Is there no hostages over here? This is often a place where you find them. But apparently not. Often they have them hiding back, they have one back in the cubicles. Ouch. They don't seem to have anybody back here. There might be a hostage over there, to the left. I don't think so though, because there's a tree there. And they don't usually look like trees, the Razorvines, when they're controlling a hostage, because they have to threaten them. Yeah, there's no hostages back there. Alright. These guys are only even level to us. I wonder... Oh, that's probably because we're following the same mission chain. This mini arc is almost like one giant mission, and so it was set to +1, but then we leveled. So that's probably why. In fact, it's almost certainly why. Wow. Barely had enough endurance for that. So yeah, one of the things I have to do when we get our inventions is I want to put an accuracy on here so it hits all the time, and then I want to put an endurance reducer on there because it's sucking up a lot of endurance. It uses 11 or something. Alright, so there's no hostages here, so we'll move to the next level. And this is what I meant, you know, there's only 4 hostages to save here, but at the end of the first level we haven't saved any yet, whereas in the last mission it was like 5 per level with 3 levels. So you can just be saved 1 hostage and you can still have a 5-floor mission. Right? Just depends on how the person who created the mission set it up. I do enjoy the Devouring Earth. I think they're interesting villains to fight. They're fun to beat on. Their bosses are pretty fun to beat on. And what I like about them is just the concept, you know, how they're these guys who, oh, there's probably a hostage. They're these sort of supernatural creatures who are trying to protect the Earth from humans and stuff. It's pretty cool. Now what I can't remember is if they came from another dimension or not. I don't think they did. But I'm not really sure. They're science-based, so I don't know. Oh, this rubble is still here. You alright? Okay, you're happy. Alright, then we're going to beat on these guys. So as you can see, fighting whites is not really challenging enough. And once we get all of our defenses in by level like 38, we're going to probably crank this up to +2s. As I've talked about before, I don't think it's likely I'll ever crank it up to +4, just because it's really not, to me it's just really not worth it. +4s just take so many more swings to take out that, to me, you may as well just fight more whites, or well, not fight more yellows and oranges than fighting fewer purples, because they're just so frustrating to fight. You miss all the time. You're doing like half damage. They hit you a lot when you're a defense scrapper. That's not what you want, right? Their bonus to hit negates your defense. And as I said, I actually timed this. I think I've said this before more than once. Back when the mission difficulty settings first came out, you couldn't set it to the number or the level difficulty as easily. There were basically 5 settings. And so the settings were essentially -1 to you, regular spawn size, so 3 minions or 1 minion and a lieutenant, +0 to you, regular spawn size. And then I think it went increase spawn size, so it treated you like you were 2 or 3 instead of 1. Then +1. Then +1 with increased spawn size, and then +2. And I think I can't remember exactly how I did it, but I used to go for the, like, and then I think maybe it was +2 in increased spawn size or something, so I think it was, maybe there were 5 settings above you. And so I think I went for the second highest when I was a scrapper, but I went for like lower than that as a tanker, because what I wanted was the multiple enemies with a tanker, but with the scrapper I just wanted higher level enemies. But I never would have asked for +4s, because it's just too much. You're really not supposed to be fighting +4s. And they made it very difficult, right? The +4s dramatically debuff your chance to hit. It buffs the damage they do against you, so you're taking all this extra damage. They have much higher chances to hit. So I've always considered it not really worth it. Anyway, I went through and I did a test when the difficulties first came out. And I did this. What I did was I did the same mission. I didn't get the mission XP, but I knew how much it was, and I manually added that amount into the XP I got, right? And I just calculated how much XP I got from doing the same mission 4 or 5 times in a row, going from blues up to fighting reds. And the most efficient is to fight blues and whites, just because, as you can see, you can just whip through the mission so fast that they can't really do anything to you. You never have to stop, not even to rest. There's no threat. You never face plant. You're never in debt. You don't even need inspirations. You just sort of ignore the inspirations most of the time, and you're just pounding things, and it's really quick. Now, it's too easy, right? So I don't set it on +0 or -1 because it's too easy. And yes, you get less XP per enemy, and you get less XP for the mission, but you get more XP. This guy's stuck. This is going to be fun if I can't hit him at all. So as far as the game's concerned, he's in the floor or something. I can't hit him. This is great. Hopefully it doesn't bug out because I can't get this guy. I'll have to remember where he is. He's by the elevator. If I have to come back and try to find a way to fight him. Maybe he'll get unstuck. Anyway, the idea is, in terms of just XP per minute, it was much more efficient to do the weaker guys and just pound through them than the stronger guys. It took so much longer to take out individual purples that it wasn't worth fighting them versus, say, blues, who would be dead in 2 or 3 hits. Because you could just whip through the mission and just bang, 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 bang. So, like, you could do the mission in 5 minutes, right? And then against purples, or let's say reds, it took like half an hour to do the same mission. So you could do like 5 missions instead of 1, and it was worth a lot more XP to do all those missions and get the mission bonuses for them all than a single mission bonus against higher level mobs, right? And the XP of the higher level mobs. Now, again, it wasn't challenging, it wasn't necessarily fun. If you're trying to gain XP, +4s don't really do anything for you. It's much more efficient to fight, to do what I'm doing here. Now again, I'm not trying to just gain XP. I don't really care about that. What I'm trying to do is experience storylines. But it's just funny to me that all the people who are trying to whip through the XP as fast as possible, they all seem to think that the fastest way to gain XP is to fight purples when it's not. And the reason I know that is because I actually timed it to just see. And maybe I'll do an episode where we actually do an experiment like that just to see. What am I hearing? I thought I heard one. I hear one. Maybe I'll do an experiment where I'll actually record it so you guys can actually see. And maybe I don't know if I'll do it with this character, but I'll record it. And this way you can actually see the difference from +0 to +4 of how it goes. I'm going to need to be higher level for that because probably the criticism of that will be, well, you're not high enough level, you're not enhanced high enough. Of course, the other thing is, too, +4s are different at level 49 than at level 19. Right? You don't want to be fighting +4s at level 19. It's just ridiculous. It'll take forever. There's way too much risk. You'll go into debt. It's not worth it. But at level 49, it can be worth it because you might be powerful enough to handle it. So it all just depends. And it also depends on your build, too, as I've said before. How are you building your character? What's your goal for your character? Right? A tanker who's really good on teams might not be able to solo +4s by himself or herself, but might be able to take +4s on as part of a team. Anyway, so maybe we'll do that experiment at some point. And we'll just see. But it's hard to do because what you have to do is take the same mission and keep resetting it. I don't know if you can do that anymore the way this works. But it used to be that if you abandon the mission, right, and then you... Is there a way in here? But we've been in here. So if you abandon the mission, and then you log out and log back in and reset the difficulty, it used to be that it would reset it. I don't know if it will do that anymore. But it'll be interesting to try. It might be. Oh, You know what? I might be able to set it up in the Mission Architect. That's a cool idea. Set it up in the Mission Architect. This way I know exactly what's in it. And then we can run it repeatedly and see how much experience we get and how long it takes. We'll put the stopwatch on it and see how long it takes. So there's another boss. Let's go ahead and do some extra damage since we've got them. We need a luck, I guess, because I got to beat on this guy while the boss is pounding me. Alright, now we go after the boss. Come on. So this is one of the lawyers, James Wolfe, Esquire. So this is the guy from Wolf, Wolf, and Wolf from the last law firm we were at. Okay. And now there should be another lawyer around here somewhere. Not sure where. Probably up in the offices there. Okay. No babies. I mean, there are other lawyers running around, but none of them count. Oh, there we go. And here they are. Try to get a better camera angle on that. There we are. Mission complete. Yes, guys, I am definitely going to do that. I'm going to see if I can set it up in the Mission Architect so that, are there any more guys in here? No. Set up in the Mission Architect so we'll have a fairly straightforward mission, and I'll just set it up. And I think you can do this in Mission Architect, and then as a player I can ask it for -1s all the way up to +4s, and we'll run through it at some point, and we'll see just how long it takes to do each mission. We'll calculate the XP gain per minute, and we'll see if it's still true that whites and blues give you the highest XP gain per minute. Alright, so we've completed this. Now we'll call our contact. This mini-arc seems to be over. Do we have any clues? We don't. So let's go back to our contact, and we will call. And he says, so, the wolves were turned into devouring earth creatures. A horrible fate. At least you're able to rescue the lawyers at Pinckney and Sons. If you ever get sued, you know who to turn to. That's right. And now, the rise of the Vampiri. Excellent. So this is actually a council story arc. There's good evidence that the council is planning some kind of major strike soon. Happily, my network of contacts has given me an idea of where they're massing their supplies. If you can take out those supplies, it will cripple their plan. So we're on a new story arc. This is very cool. This is going to be in Brickstown, and I'm not going to do this today, but we are going to go and get our enhancements. Let's see if we can do that. And then we can enhance our powers. We need 1 accuracy and 1 endurance reducer. Level 35. I don't know if I have those. Let's see. Oh man, I got all this stuff that needs to be gotten rid of. Accuracy. I do have a 35, and I have the equipment for it. And what did I want? Endurance reduction. I've got a 30. That's good enough. Alright, I could get it to level 35 if I have the materials for it. But we'll see. Let's go to Steel Canyon South, where we're going to go to the workshop. And at the university, there's one in my supergroup base, but as the way the roleplay went, I'm not sure if I'm allowed in it, in character, because Prisma, who's one of the leaders of the group, is like a sort of a magical science combo character, and she kind of said don't go in there, it's not safe unless you have unless you've asked permission and the lab techs know what you're doing in there, it could potentially be dangerous. So roleplay wise, my character doesn't know anything about this stuff, so I don't want to really go in there, and if somebody comes into the base in character and they see me in there, what are you supposed to be doing in there? This is the end of an episode, I'm just trying to finish up. So, the first thing I want to do is endurance reduction. So we have the supplies, so I'll go ahead and buy the level 35 and create it. Oh, we need a defense buff. Level 35. We need runes for that, but we have an accuracy. Level 35. Let's go and create that. So now we're going to put the endurance reducer on Eagle's Claw, which will drop it down to 8 endurance per second per hit, and we'll pump the accuracy of Thunder Kick, so that shouldn't miss so much. And we can sell the rest of these guys. I also need to get a rune. So one of the reasons I like to come here is because Wentworth is right here. One of the things I need to do on one of my other characters is get them to the right level to start a supergroup, start my own base, and just outfit my own base. And I haven't decided which character I'm going to do that on yet. We'll see. So salvage, we need runes, and we need 2 of them. So we just go to invention, we scroll down to rune, we look at what the price is. 2,400 is. So let's try 2,000. Whoops, 2,000, because they're mostly selling for about 1,000, and we'll make an offer. And we got them. All right, so now we go back because we got to do the defense buff, and that'll get put into a lucky, right? Which will improve our AoE defense, and you can actually see it happen. So let's put on combat jump. All right, so we're at 8.74 defense. And now we're going to do our defense buff, level 35, create. So now we're going to slot this in. Look at this, 8.74 defense. It's not going to change much, but we're going to slot this in, which is going to increase our resistance, our defense, from 6.8 to 8.0. And so let's see. Now we're at 9.95% defense, so it definitely helps. I'm going to go sell these enhancements, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this little bit. I try not to do too many inventions on screen just because I don't want to bore everybody, but I think it's worthwhile to show a little bit of it, so if anybody's not sure how these work or what the easiest way to do this is, then you know. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Scrapperlock, and I'll be back with another episode in the near future.